but I'm living in the moment.
Welcome to Open.
Today we're here talking with Miss Latrice Glean about her book called My Life's Journey. Tell us a little bit about your book.
My Life's Journey is basically a book of my life. It's an autobiography. Take everybody on the journey from childhood up into adulthood. I discuss growing up in the family with mom and dad, with siblings, just about life, marriage, divorce, boys, separation, depression, and a little bit more.
Okay. Once you decided to write this book, did you think that it may affect past or present relationships?
No. Well, I'm not going to say I didn't think it would. I just hoped it didn't.
Okay. I know in the beginning of the book you started out by saying you lost all respect for your father. What is your relationship like now versus before the book was published?
We have a good relationship. He is actually, he's been supporting me since the book came out. So I think it actually helped our relationship.
Okay. So you left home at 16. What prompted you to want to do this?
In the book, it talks about growing pains, living at home, going through a lot of different things with my dad. I lost respect for my dad for a lot of different reasons. So somebody told me at school when I turned 16 I didn't have to stay home. So once they told me that, I was like, oh, I'm out. And I left.
Okay, so your mom and your dad, you guys tried to seek counseling to try and justify the situation. Do you think it helped or hurt the situation?
It didn't help or hurt. Counseling is counseling. It works for some people. It didn't work for us because the truth was never told in the counseling session. So it didn't work.
So you felt like it was a waste of time, basically.
Basically.
Okay. Most people want their parents to be together. They want the American dream of their mom and their dad being together. What was your feelings like, or how did you feel when your mother told you that she was leaving your father?
Um, I think my feelings about the whole family structure when I was like 12, it didn't matter. A lot of my friends grew up in single parent households, and I used to always say, it seemed like their life is way better than mine. So in my household, I would have rather live with my mom. Me and my brother just go ahead and move with my mom and struggle or do whatever we have to do and let my dad just be about his business. So, I mean, it works for some people, but it affects children if it don't.
Okay. So when you left home at 16, where did you go?
I went and lived with my sister.
Okay. Yes. Which sister did you live with?
Michelle.
Okay. Yeah, you lived with your sister Michelle. Did you think life was gonna be easy? Like, oh yeah, no curfew, no rules. I'm living with my older sister.
Well, life was easy. I didn't really have a curfew. I mean, I had responsibility. That's one thing I didn't have to worry about at home, like paying bills. All my money was for me to do whatever I wanted to do. But once I lived with my sister, she was a single parent. She had 2 boys. So I had to work, and then I had to help her pay bills, and I still had to go to school. But, I still had a little bit of freedom.
It was a small price to pay just so that you can kind of do what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier in the book, it stated that she moved out. Did you resent her for basically kind of leaving you there?
When my sister moved out?
Yes.
Well, she was like 18 maybe. 17 or 18. I was only 7 or 8.
Okay.
I missed her, but me and my brother, we just stuck together when she left.
Did you feel guilty leaving the house at 16, leaving your little brother and your mom in that situation, not knowing what could possibly happen?
I didn't feel guilty. I just wish that they would have left too. My brother used to get on my nerves, unfortunately. So when I decided to leave, it's because me and my brother got into a big fight and I got in trouble. So that was it. But yeah, I wish my mom would have left right after me, but she didn't.
Okay. Moving through the chapter, we get to a chapter entitled Boys. The chapter of every teenage girl's life. I don't even know where to start. It was just so juicy. You experienced a lot. You experienced a lot, and you exposed a lot as well. Do you think that some of the things that you mentioned you went through could have been avoided if you would have had like the real birds and bees conversation with your mom?
I don't think so.
You don't?
I had a cousin who taught me, or told me, she didn't really teach me, but told me a lot of different things and gave me different books to read about. My grandmother actually gave me the talk about the birds and the bees. I don't think if my mom, I was rebellious, so I probably still would have did what I wanted to do, and
Okay, let's start with Timothy. He was the first guy that you mentioned in your chapter. You started dealing with him at the age of 13. Tell me a little bit about him.
At 13, that was for play. It was just somebody you talk to on the phone, somebody you might see during school or after school, somebody you hang out with. But he was a good friend. Unfortunately, he's passed away now. But that was my first real relationship where I think my heart was involved with somebody.
Okay. And then there was Frankie. This relationship was based basically on sex. You also mentioned that he was abusive. After your first encounter with him being abusive, what made you stay, since you had already gone through this during, an earlier stage in your life?
Like seeing my mom go through it. And I think the first time he hit me, I think I was in shock. So,
Like, I know this.
Yeah. I stayed. I don't know why. I can't tell you why, because I thought I was in love, and that's the only person I was dealing with. And I used to hang out with the boys all the time. So, and yeah, the first time he hit me, he apologized for it and everything. But then, like if you read in a book, that same night we got into it again. So,
Right. Then came Mitchell. Now this is where it gets good. Mitchell introduced you to STDs, known as Stan's,
Wow.
Towns, and Danzies. Tell me a little bit more about that. I mean, I read it, but let's tell the audience about it.
Okay. I was 15. I really didn't know too much about. I mean, I knew what I knew, but I didn't know what I was supposed to know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's another reason why I wrote the book, because it's a lot of kids out here, teenagers, they having sex, they not protecting themselves, and they really don't know the consequences. It's bad. It's really bad. So I was 15, and like the book says, I caught an STD from this person. I was only with him for 6 months. Didn't protect myself. It's like just stupid, trying to be grown, trying to do the grown-up thing. Didn't even know that I had anything. My mom took me to get checked up. They told me it was a female infection or whatever. Results come back in, it's not that. And they tell me what it was. So then I did my own research and I started looking up online. And, I was, back then, I don't think I cried. I just was just like, wow, nasty. Just
Right.
nasty.
Okay. All right. We don't want to give away all the good stuff. Y'all got to get the book in order to find out the exact
That was
STDs. Because it's in here. It's in here. Everything that you want to know is in this book. So then you meet Ray. You're older. You're more mature. What made this relationship different than what you experienced in the past?
He was fun. He was caring. We did stuff together. We went to the movies. We went skating. I was living with roommates at that time, so it was like I had my own, and he would come over. I would go to his house. It was just different because it was somebody who really paid attention to me and did stuff with me.
Okay.
Versus the past relationships where they just used me. I think everybody else used me.
Did you think at one point that Ray could possibly be the love of your life, the one?
No.
No. How did you feel? Well, it said that he left. So did you feel abandoned when he left and he moved away and didn't tell you, or how did you feel about that?
No, Ray didn't. He didn't leave me. I left him.
Oh, excuse me. Tell me about this.
I left and went to Cleveland.
Right.
For 2 weeks after I broke up with him.
Mm-hmm.
No, we still cool. After that, we still spoke and everything. It was just, I was young, 18.
Okay.
Boys, 18, you can't really expect too many people to be committed and
Right.
just be with you and you only at that age.
You can't really expect that at 27. But hey, who's counting?
Or 30.
You got
Or
that right.
50, or
Hey,
60.
a man is a man and a woman is a woman. But we're not here for that today. We're here to
Okay.
talk about
It's in the
Tracy's
book.
life journey.
It's in a book.
So now, Doris, I got a couple questions for you. You left the kids there to stay with their dad, and you went to the Army.
Yes.
How do you think they felt? Or better yet, Tracy, tell us how you felt.
I want to know how she. Why did you make that decision?
Yeah.
Then?
Well, at that time, Latrice was 5 and Anthony was not even 2. And the only one that probably had any real feelings about it maybe was Michelle, because she was a teenager.
Right.
But that was my escape. And I figured if I left, maybe the father would change and he would accept responsibility and take care of the children.
Okay.
So
And by this time, you guys weren't together.
we were together.
You were together when you went to the Army.
Yes. we
And
were
then
together.
after that is when you got...
Yeah, it was
broke up.
much later. It was like in 97 when we divorced.
Okay, so what in the midst of all that Tracy had going on, what made you decide to want to go back to her father after you divorced him?
Well, he divorced me. Um, I don't know, because I was still, after the divorce, we were still seeing each other, and I thought he had changed, so I just thought we'd give it a try again.
Okay, what did you think? What did you think would be different? Did you think that he wouldn't, be drinking? What did you think?
I I just thought it would be much different. I don't know. I just wasn't really thinking. I don't guess.
Okay.
Maybe I just didn't want to be
He was
out
in
there by
love.
myself, and I just thought I'd give it another chance. After 2 years, I thought, well, maybe it'll be better.
Okay.
But
And he promised her something. She wouldn't have to do this and pay this and do that. And
yeah, so,
Yeah.
But it didn't work out that way.
He sold you. He gave you a bounce check, basically.
Right. Right.
They do that. That's how they know. Having children being raised in a abusive home, and you have a son, did you think that he would pick up some of the bad habits once he became an adult from seeing it as so young?
I didn't think about that back then. You don't think that.
Mhm.
It's not as now. It's very open and people talk about it more. Back then, people hid it,
Mhm.
and so I didn't even consider that thought.
Okay, for the record, let's clear that up. That he has not picked up any of those habits. Let's just go ahead and clear that
Right.
up.
Oh, he's
How y'all
good
doing?
about
How y'all
it.
doing? How y'all doing?
we're good. We're good. We're good.
How's everybody?
Good.
Good.
Everybody's okay?
Good.
Yeah.
I guess I'm in the shop right now. I'm gonna do it like this here. I'm going out here. How you doing, Buffalo? This is what we do here on Open. I try to bring you something different every time, every week. And today I have a young lady on here that's talking about her book, talking about her life experiences. Somebody in Buffalo might be going through the same thing that she's going through. I know I have been through situations like that with a dad being abusive. Didn't want to come back to mom because love is life is love is life. I'm a man, so I got to speak for the man.
Go ahead, get
Okay.
cleared up.
Hey, if God put them back together for that second time, it was all good because it taught you something. It showed you how to write this book and get your emotions out there and to have people read your book. It's a blessing. So, what's going on?
With me?
Yes.
Right now, I'm just working and trying to promote my life's journey. I was telling my team, because I have a team, Monica, Adriana,
Right.
Tisha, my mom, that we need a lot of support in Buffalo. Unfortunately, Buffalo, so far it's been good, but I would love to see more support. And I want to reach out really to the teens. If you're a teenager, you need to read this book. You definitely need to read this book. But so far it's been good. I have a I think it's middle high school, college, or middle
college.
school, middle
So,
college.
what about the young lady that's sitting across from us? What can she get from the book as she
Well,
get older?
When she gets older.
When she gets older,
Yeah, because
right?
as of right now, she's a little too young
What's
to
your
read
name?
the
What's your
book.
name? What's your name?
Miani.
Miani.
Turn around and tell the camera what's your name right there.
Hi, world. I'm Miani.
That's my little cousin.
So I
That's
see.
my little
She's
cousin.
gonna write her own book.
Yeah.
So that's her. That's her. But we have to teach them. What you think about the violence that's happening in the city of Buffalo?
Buffalo, I don't know what's going on with Buffalo. Violence has always been in Buffalo, but now that I'm older, I pay more attention to it, and it's bad. No jobs, people don't have nothing to do. These kids, somebody was just telling me a story today. These kids was walking in the street. He went to, try to avoid them, and they thought he was trying to hit them, and they threw something at the car, and
Wow.
it's
See?
like just for no reason.
See, I'm burning up in here because this is all the studio, but I just came on Open just to give a little flavor out there and let you know. What time does the show come on?
The show will be on Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and it also comes on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Continue on with your journey.
All right.